Hey, we are back. Good evening, good evening. Hoping everybody had a great weekend. We are back. It is Tuesday. We are at our Tuesday night live session. We absolutely today we are talking about hands and power tools. Hands and power tools in the field of construction. Real quick, real briefly, just want to do a quick update and shout out to everybody that has been following us on Facebook and everybody that's subscribing to us on YouTube. You can go to your free OSHATrainingforyou.com website and click on your 10 and 30-hour OSHA training and go ahead and view the material over there for free. Also, we had someone that make a donation earlier last week. So for this whole month of May, we will be allowing one person to obtain their 10-hour OSHA card for free every week. So for this week, we're asking today that if you take your name and your number, and you put Facebook live stream in the subject bar, Facebook live stream in the subject bar. Underneath of that, put your name and number and 10-hour OSHA and send that email into hooked, HOOKED, on safety at mail.com. And on Thursday, we will be pulling your name out. Okay, for any other information, you could just go to the website, which is the training zone of the DMV, and pull from there. So we're going to get right into it, hands and power tools. So tools are part of everyday life. Even simple tools can be hazardous. Objects. We want to identify the various types of tools. We want to describe the types of hazards that's associated with the tools. We want to describe the guardings and the requirements. We want to describe the safe operation methods. And we want to describe how employers' requirement. This is some of the things that we really want to get into on this PowerPoint here. The type of tools that are manually operated here, you can see a whole wide variety of them. Power actuated tools, electrical, pneumatic, liquid, hydraulic, power actuated. Type of hazards, struck by hazards, electrocutions, and caught in between. Bad picture on that hand there, you can see. Time off the job, so you want to make sure that you're using your tool in the right fashion. Hands and power tools, harmful materials, trips and slips, sharp edges, protruding objects, real simple stuff here. Exposure to hazardous due to using the wrong tool for the job. So we want to stop and put our kickstand down here. When we talk about our hands and power tools, you cannot use a screwdriver for a chisel because it's not a chisel, so you're using the wrong tool for the wrong job. You want to make sure that you're using the right tool for the right job to get the maximum impact when it comes to being safe. While you are out there, it is your responsibility to be safe. So there's no need in taking shortcuts when you can get the right tool for the right job. All right, so any damage or broken tools need to be taken out of service. Sparks, producing tools near flammable or liquid, tools not properly guarded, tools not properly grounded, and inadequate PPE. These are the hazards that's associated with your hands and power tools. Again, common sense say you can't use a grinder with gas around it. You can't have tools that's not properly grounded. You can't have tools that's not properly guarded. And you must have your right PPE on to protect yourself from any hazards. So you see we got the tools here. When using the tools, you motion and rotation in running nip points, reciprocal and transferring. Actions is cutting and punching and shears. You see these tools here. Make sure that the right guard is on the tools and they're used in the right fashion. So we got the skill saw here. Guards, exposing moving parts. All moving parts should be covered with some type of guard. Point of operation in running the nip point and rotating part and flying chips and spots. Abrasive wheel and cutting blades, and never remove guards when tools are in use. Real simple stuff. And you got the guard to, again, properly guard the blower. You see it has the proper guard on it. And then you have your personal protective equipment here. Keep tools clean and well maintenance. Use the right tools and use it in the right way. Always follow your manufacturer's instruction and wear your PPE properly. So we want to talk about following that manufacturer instruction. If the manufacturer tell you to use the tool in that fashion, then its warranty covers you in that fashion. Anytime that you get outside of the manufacturer instructions and use the tool in outside of the manufacturer instructions, then now you are going to be responsible for anything that happens. So what we want to do, our goal is every day, is to always keep the liability of everything that we do on the manufacturer or on the employer. You as the worker just keep yourself safe by using the tool in the right way, by doing stuff in the right fashion. That way will keep you to work and back home, to work and back home. Again, the number is 2 people die per hour per day. I said again, the number is 2 people die per hour per day because they doing things not the right way, but their way. So we want to make sure that we do things the right way and stay in that manufacturer instructions. Practice good housekeeping there. Keep the work area well lit. Inspect tools. Remove from service if you need to. If there's any damage, fine. And keep all your tools shop. Precautions for power tools. Disconnect the power source. Keep people away from it. Make sure that they are away safe distance. And make sure that you secure your work area. Avoid accidents in starting up. Fit with guards and safety switches. Maintain good faith, footing, and balances. Wear proper clothing for the task and safeguards exposing moving parts. You want to make sure that you're always doing things that's going to keep you safe. All right, so some of the tools here, the cords, you just yank them by the cord to remove it. Don't do that. Remove the cord from service if there's any damage found. Protect against any shock, and never remove from third prong. Never remove the third prong. We talked about that last week when we talked about electrical shock. The third prong is your way, means of protection. Say this again, your third prong is your way and means of protection. All right, so protect the cords, properly store them. Make sure that you use the GFI, real simple stuff. Precautions, you want to tap to make sure that it's not broken. Before inspecting, follow your manufacturing recommendations on that. Accelerate the wheel. Accelerate wheels. Let the wheel come all the way up to its speed before beginning your task. Don't stand in front of a grinding wheel. Let it come up to speed. And the proper adjustment of 1/8 is used on the work rest there. The precautions is pneumatic tools. Use same precautions with air hoses and with electrical cords. Secure fasten air hose tools and safeguard with positive locking devices here. And equipment. Equip tools with devices that fasten from accidentally being ejected. Use screens to protect nearby workers and not use compressed air for cleaning of clothing. So, fuel power actuated tools handle the tools, handle, transport, store gas and fuels in approved containers. You know, the plastic gas can containers are not approved containers. What is an approved container? OSHA said it must be metal and it must have a approved container on it. So the plastic gas can that you get out there Home Depot, it is not actually an approved container. It is actually a sign or a signal for OSHA to come onto your site. If you have a gas can, it must be metal and it must be approved. All right, precautions, the power actuated tools here. You want to treat with extreme caution. You must be trained on how to use it, and you must wear suitable PPE. Precautions for tool safety is select the appropriate power level for tool tasks. Test tools to ensure that the safety devices work. Inspect your tools there and do not use defective tools. Do not load tools until prior to use. Never point it at anyone. Keep the hands clear of opening barrel ends. Never leave tools unloaded. Never leave them unattended. Don't drive fasteners into materials that are very hard or brittle or easy to penetrate. And do not drive fasteners into spotted area. Use your manufacturing recommendations for shields and guards and attachment. And always store unloaded in a lockbox. All right, so employers' responsibility requirements is to comply with OSHA, make sure that training takes place, that inspections take place, comply with your manufacturing recommendation. So you see here we can identify that this cord is no good. It needs to be taken out of service. You see the handheld sander with the exposed wire. It really should not be used. And that is a good picture of how you should take this out of service instead of putting a piece of tape around it, because it is what? Now violated the manufacturer instructions and you need to take it out of service. You have this one here. We identify that there's no ground prong on this plug here, and the grounding is your only means of protection, so it needs to take it out of service. You see, there's no third wire, no ground prong there. Identify the hazard on this one. The guards are off. You see there's no guards on that grinder, which can allow anything to throw off and get in front of you. You want to make sure that all guards are in place before you use it. This needs to be out of service. This guy here, working in the streets with power cords, potential hazard for exposed traffic. See there? Plus the guard is removing from the saw blade. You see there? So those are two things. You must have guards on it, and you must make sure that it is not exposed to the traffic. And power take off or the guard is missing. Where the belt is rotating, there's no guard on that as well. So it's three things there identified. Worker got the cord out there, the blade is exposed, and also the takeoff power is exposed as well. So a good old knowledge check. Which other following examples are unsafe practice regarding the use of tools? You want to keep your tools, keep cutting tools sharp, wear eye and face protection while operating a grinder, using a screwdriver to curve or cut out the wood, or follow the manufacturer instructions when using a tool. Well, using a screwdriver to carve out wood is not the one, is the one. Number two, which determines a tool that is powered air compressed? Hydraulic, power actuated, electrical, pneumatic. Boom. D, pneumatic. Number three, which of the following actions may expose workers to electrical shock that could be removed, that should be avoided? Removing the ground pin on the third prong, using double insulated, using a grounding adapter on a two-way, remove damaged tools from service, and place them do not use. Boom. The correct answer is moving the ground pin on a three-way prong. Now let's check. Number 4, which of the following statements about gardening techniques is true? Guard the point of operation and running the nip point. Remove guard from tool while in use, then replace it after the job is complete. Adjust the guard abrasive wheels to expose wheel surface, or wear PPE because guards will not protect operators from flying chips and sparks and moving parts of tools. Guard the point of operation, nip point. Number 5. Employers must satisfy all of the following requirements except provide PPE necessary to protect employees from exposure. Comply with OSHA training and inspections. Determine which manufacturing requirements meet the recommendations for the tool. Do not issue or permit the use of unsafe tools. Determine which manufacturing requirements and recommendations for a tool shall be followed or ignored. And that is the end of the hand and power tools. I wanted to get in and get out real quickly today. We want to also, again, everybody know that you want to try to obtain that 10-hour OSHA card that is free. We want you to, again, to use the email is hooked, HOOKED, on safety at mail.com. Inside of the subject bar, you put free live stream. Inside of the body of the email, put 10-hour OSHA training. Put your name and your contact information. And then this Thursday, we will draw that name of that person out and be able to, they will be able to go over and also use the free, go over to the site and obtain the 10-hour OSHA card for free. Guys, as always, it's really our pleasure of being here, and keep in mind that everything that we do does make a difference.